All right, I hope you're all having a nice day, end of the week. It's Thursday, one more day until Friday. Doesn't make a difference to me. Every day is a great day, regardless of if it's a weekday or the weekend. If it's a weekend, I just get a chance to get the two-a-day workouts in. If not, we just go with the one and get some stuff done and look at some charts when I'm done with the day job and maybe make some videos. I've been posting a lot of content in the X sub account, looking at just a lot of the different asymmetric stock setups that I have on my radar. A few of the trades that I've entered or been waiting to enter. Uh, and so I'm going to review a couple of those today for everybody. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't recommend following any of these things that I'm saying for financial advice. I'm just here to kind of give you my perspective, um, and be transparent about where I enter things, but I obviously could be wrong. Um, Most people do best not trading. So if anything, this is an endorsement to not do what I'm going to share with you that I've done. Because I just think long term, it's a lot better on your mind, on your body when you're focused on other more important things during a day rather than gluing yourself to a screen. Especially when you start upping position size and you start looking at things more, it's counterproductive. You end up screwing those up more often than you do riding out the volatility. It's those smaller positions or things that you don't worry about as much that tend to do the best because your mind's occupied at other places. And that's why long-term investors traditionally do the best. And day traders, you don't find them on the Forbes 100 list. So with that, let me jump into it. I'm going to start off really quickly, just a quick Bitcoin update, because that's what, the main source of my passion and analysis lies. I got Bitcoin denominated in gold. I posted this chart up earlier today, and this is just a different perspective that shows us that potentially this correction, as much as my original USD count has this as one, and we're looking for two, three, this count tells us a different story. This count tells us that this flat correction, what I'm calling the one ABC into A, and then a B wave, and then one, two, three, four, five, diagonal C potentially forming here or maybe a little bit further down. I don't know. I don't care. Makes a little bit more sense. Right now, this C wave is equal in length to that A wave. So in terms of length of waves, we have a lot of confluence where we are. If we look at strength behind each of the moves down, where we've seen similar, just bleeding, right? This diagonal ending in A, this C down here, right? This same, I mean, this all looks the same. This looks awful. This price action looks awful. RSI, you make higher lows. We made higher lows there, making higher lows here. All preceded moves in the opposite direction. So whether we get the impulse that I'm looking for, this is a larger degree correction that's ongoing. I still continue to believe that we're closer to the end of this than the beginning or the middle. And at a minimum, looking for the same type of pattern we saw before. At a maximum, I'm looking for the impulse. I'm looking for this impulsive movement. And we're going to continue to update the subs every single day in terms of what I see, whether it's chart or video content. This was a video out yesterday, and the Bitcoin miners denominated in Bitcoin is telling a story here, okay? And I posted another chart of why I think MicroStrategy is lagging a little bit in the subs account. Here's what here's what I know, okay? The Bitcoin, this is the WGMI denominated in Bitcoin. I know that the run from September to November, and this index doubled in that time, mind you. And the index rose against Bitcoin. But you'll notice these are all overlapping waves. This is corrective. I've got this as a corrective B. So all that occurred in a correction against Bitcoin, in my opinion. That's what I'm presenting here. And we saw this downtrend initiate in November in the form of what I'm calling a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move, very similar to what you're seeing up here. This B, 1 overlapping 4, 2, 1 to 2 overlapping to 3, overlapping to 4, and then into 5. And even in this outperformance, there's overlapping, right? There's overlapping. These are all corrective structures. And so what's to note about what started right now and why, for example, on a day like today, like Riot was up 9%, Mara was up over 3%, WGMI was almost up 3%. What we have here is a different character. This is not overlapping. And if this is the end of this diagonal, as I've got pictured, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave moves, or at least 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've broken out of this diagonal. We've broken out of the cloud, the 4 hour, the first time that's happened since Q4 of last year. This is potentially the start of a fresh impulse against Bitcoin, which we haven't seen since June, July of 2024. So the implications here are major. They're major in terms of potential outperformance. So long as Bitcoin cooperates and at least ranges at a minimum, a range in Bitcoin and or an expansion in Bitcoin can send the miners 2, 3, 4x in the next move, whatever that looks like in terms of time. I don't know whether that's a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. I don't know. Timing is the hardest, but those are all the different scenarios I'm looking at as I zoom out on this chart. I think we're set to challenge the top end of this trend line that goes back all the way to the inception of this chart, where we've gotten 1, 2, 3 touches so far. And so the miners just look incredible right here. They look incredible. When I posted the WGMI, MSTR denominated WGMI chart earlier to kind of give a little insight into why I think MicroStrategy is lagging. The next setup that I talked about, and I think I even posted on the members videos for YouTube a few weeks ago, was this Tesla swing trade that I've been looking to enter for a little over a month. And I finally did a couple days ago. I mean, so far it looks pretty good. So we had the impulsive movement that I was looking for. We had the impulse that I was looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, swings were exited here. A, B, C, everyone was looking at this triangle. I was suspect of this triangle because everyone was looking for a triangle, and we were in the cloud and a breach of a cloud in a short time frame. Look at how short that correction was versus the previous one, was at least twice as long. When you look at the major correction, okay? And so I just thought we had some more downside, and that transpired to the tune of coming down to this 618, 335 region. Let me clear that up a little bit and zoom in. And so we breached that. I entered with shares, and yesterday we reclaimed, and today we've got some power. We're back in the bottom of this cloud. Does that mean this is game on? No, that doesn't mean that. There's confirmation comes in the form of price and time, and we're going to find out. So for now, back in this cloud is really bullish. Anytime you see a cloud failure and a reclaim very, very quickly, that's what I saw here. Okay. 2 days out, but then it's back in. That's bullish. 1, 2 days out and it's back in is bullish. Anytime you get dribble out of the cloud, that tells me there's much more correction to come. That's a great sign. That's a great sign for us. We'll keep monitoring that. The swing we'll let run for a little while. Stop loss at 319. What is next? Let's see. Celsius. Celsius is one that I know a lot of the big accounts on X have been talking about for a while, and it just hasn't made sense to me until I think last week. it started entering what I consider the accumulation zone of this ending diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave moves here to the downside. I was looking for the turn at 21.95. It went lower. And so far, we're getting the reaction that we'd expect here. But any of this is a accumulation zone. Whenever I see 5 waves and then a 5 wave move within the fifth that has ending diagonal written all over it to me, a structure that looks like that, you can Google it. That's a constructive looking risk reward when I look at long term. Now, I don't think calls on this work very well in terms of risk until you get a reaction like this. Like I want to see this B wave exceeded, and I'd wait for a pullback. And if we got something like that, that's where I think a call would work for this third. They're too risky here because you don't know if you've got this. Nothing is confirmed here. I want to see impulse. I want to see break of market structure here. I want to see change of character here. I want to see break of market structure here, and then enter on a significant ABC correction pullback if I'm going to look for calls. But for now, shares here look very reasonable. Look very reasonable given, and again, not financial advice. I don't know where the hell this thing is going long term. I'm pure technicals. I don't know how well the company's doing, the health of it. This just technically to me is a bottoming looking type of chart. ARKK was another one I think I posted in the members video as well as the subs. There's a trade I entered looking to scale in as I look at this zone. This is a weekly chart with either of these paths in mind. It's taking this path right now. Doesn't mean it can't, right now it's breaking out. Doesn't mean it can't come back in here and do something like that. We see false breakouts all the time, and that is part of the plan. If I get a false breakout, I'm averaging in, taking advantage of it. If I get a true breakout, I'm averaging in, I'm taking advantage of it, both sides of the coin. The side of the coin that I'm concerned about is what is this entire accumulation structure right here being underneath this check back. That's where the asymmetry is in this name, in my opinion. Full on risk on environment right now. And you see things like GME doing what it's doing. You better believe we're in risk on. You better believe we're in risk on, in my opinion. ARKG, another one of the setups I think I've been presenting and entered back here. Breakout, we're in the cloud. Nothing, no confirmation 30-week. I'm still looking for impulsive move, something like that. Forget the timing of it. But this looks like ST, secondary test in phase B, double bottom, whatever you want to call it, ending diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has them all. Wyckoff, 30-week. This would be an LPS. This would be a sign of strength. And so these are good exits. These are good reentries if they come. Sometimes they don't. And I'm going to show you some examples of things that don't always necessarily check back when people are expecting them to. BABA being one. I've been posting this one for a while. And again, this is a classic double bottom. And I think I had like this, something like this, like a diagonal type of move, or not a diagonal type of move, an impulsive type of move, maybe checking back here, didn't check back. We're like another 10% higher. I mean, these China names can rip, and they can keep going. I don't like to try to time anything in terms of the minor degree waves because that's just too difficult. The target here for BABA is 200. That's the target. And so the road there is going to be really, really challenging to project. A weekly close above this entire level here is really bullish. Do we get a check back before? We could. Does it just keep going? That could happen too. I don't know. We're going to find out. Upstart. This was one of my favorite setups. Why? Because it had confluence amongst all the three things that I follow in terms of top tier, setups, in terms of asymmetry, in terms of overall chart symmetry. This was in the middle. Okay. When I talk about symmetry, I mean, if we look at the entire picture, what's the midline where, you're literally like half of the price action is below you? That's upstart, right? Symmetry. The asymmetry from here, from the 30 week on a back up to last point of support is above us. So far, we're getting a nice reaction. I see this going much higher than it is right now. We're at 84, 135, something like that, potentially even up to 200 in the next year or so, maybe sooner, maybe longer. But this setup is again one of those classic 30-week coiling up. Elliott wave lines up 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything kind of came into play right here. Boom. And we're getting the reaction. Let me get rid of those drawings. One I like right now that hasn't quite reacted, but is the same concept of what I just shared with Upstart is block. And I think it's called XYZ now. Square, formerly Square, block, XYZ. I don't know what the heck the name is now, but the setup is very similar to what we just saw with Upstart, where you have a macro accumulation range, okay? Where you've got this spring, you've got an LPS, you've got this sign of strength move back up to the 30-week 1, 2, 3, 4 wave moves with a 5 of 3, which I believe is coming. So again, this is what a pre-type of upstart type of setup looks like, in my opinion. I could be wrong. HIMS is one I posted about a few times. And yeah, I mean, this one is just running. Same deal here. Confluence on Wyckoff on the 30-week, on the Elliott wave, everything. Right here is where I kind of posted HIMS is in the zone. And it went from 24, it's now up to 60. Does it keep going? Does it check back? I don't know. These things are really difficult to project, but it deserves a breather. Could we get a little 3-4 consolidation here before we go up to these 100 plus levels? It sure would be warranted. We're going to find out. Folks, that's it. That is the updates on the what I'm kind of seeing in terms of Bitcoin and some of the other setups that I observe. I hope you're all doing great. Thanks for all the support. Take care.